Alright, last video analysis of the day. Here we have Kaden. Kaden is a right-handed discus thrower. His coach has sent in the video for me to analyze, so we're going to take a look at it here. Now remember, based on the previous two videos that we've analyzed today that are on the YouTube channel, make sure guys to go back and really take home the big picture stuff. The big picture ideas have been covered in all of these videos, and we're going to start to bring out some more of the bigger problems, the bigger issues. A lot of times we try to focus on the little stuff. That's like the icing on the cake. You haven't even turned the oven on. You haven't even put the cake mix in a pan yet, and you guys are worrying about like what color the frosting is going to be and what color the candles are going to be. Don't worry about the little stuff, okay? Worry about the big things. The big things usually will fix all of that little stuff. Okay, so don't play around with a bunch of little stuff. Don't try to fix all these teeny tiny little things that you might see. Fix the big stuff. So with Kaden here, I'm going to take a look. Again, this side view is not necessarily the best because he is a righty. I'd love to have a view of him from the other side of the cage, but this is, if that's going to do, that's going to do. All right, so let's take a look here at Kaden. The big thing that I want to take a look at with Kaden is going to be, again, the right foot comes off late. You can see how he's in that pirouette, that ballerina position. We got to get that right foot off the ground a little earlier. But Kaden does a pretty good job of stopping the left foot to allow the right foot to come around. See how that left foot's not moving anymore? But what we're seeing here is that Kaden really looks like he's leaning into that circle. So you can see how that right foot's coming around. See how he's got that lean. He looks like he's coming out of a starting block. I want to really see some better posture in this position because you can see when he goes to drive into the middle, he's really leaning over to the left. You see that angle that he's got? He's really falling backwards and leaning backwards toward the back of the circle. You can see just what a big angle that is right there. So we're landing, and then what starts to happen is, see how kind of off-balanced this position is? Does a good job landing up on the toe. Again, he's not really turning the toe just yet. I really want to see that right toe get active. Now you can see he's in a pretty solid power position. Left foot's not down on the ground yet. There we go. It's getting there. And the left foot is down. So pretty solid power position. Again, I'd love to see some better posture here. So if we want to get better posture in the power position and not be kind of bent over and leaning over so much, I'd love to have him fix that posture in the back. What happens in the back usually will compound and multiply and then happen in the front. So this is what's going on here. Now, that leaning, that idea of him being shifted over one side or the other and leaning back and leaning forward as he drives, that leaning is going to turn into a rocking chair position, this sort of angled release. So we're going to see that here. So you can see here, Kaden does a pretty solid job of turning the right foot, turning the right knee, getting the right hip down the middle, but see how he's leaning back. So at this point, his left foot starts to come off the ground. Can everybody see that? Left foot starts to come off the ground, and his weight, so his hips, his chest, and his head are sitting way back here. And if his left foot's off the ground and he's up on the right toe and he's starting to throw, he's lost contact with the ground. He's lost his support on the ground. He's lost his base and he's no longer working the circle. A coach who I've worked with and known for many years, Gary Aldrich, I'm not sure if he coined the term, but he always uses the term shooting a cannon out of a canoe. You would never be able to shoot a cannon out of a canoe because there's no base, there's no support, there's no ground and friction. there's no way that you would be able to shoot a cannon out of a canoe. That's what's going on here is we're trying to throw a discus with our feet in midair, and you can see what happens is he's not doing a good job of transferring his weight from the right side onto his left. So I would love to see his hips over that left foot, his chest and his head further forward, because he throws from way back here. See that? So the camera's moving a little bit, but see he throws and his head, his chest, and his hips are all back behind that left foot. Let's stay grounded a little bit more. Let's try to keep the feet on the ground a little bit longer to enable you to push your body and to push your hips and your shoulder over that left foot so that you can transfer weight from the right side onto the left. So this is typically what a lot of people talk about when they say that they don't have a block, or they say, well, you know, he's blowing through his block or he doesn't have a block. There's a lot of different terminology that coaches will use. Check out, I'm going to just hold, this is in slow motion, the video that his coach sent. So we're going to take a look here. Watch the activity of his left side. So his left side right here pretty much stops. See that? And he doesn't really use it anymore. He's not pulling the left arm in. He's off the ground. His left foot's off the ground. So he really doesn't do a good job of using that left side, of using that stretch reflex, of pulling that left arm. I want to see, I always tell my athletes to punch yourself in the shoulder or try to stick your hand in your armpit. I want that left elbow behind your butt, just like a sprinter, and I want to see that left hand almost punching your shoulder or in your left armpit. Right here, he leaves that left arm extended, and he's not getting that good stretch reflex across the chest to create that kind of what Mac Wilkins would always call the effortless throw. There's a great video online of that. It's an athlete throwing a med ball into a net. Calls it the effortless throw. Using that left side to propel the right side. Pulling that left arm in to create that whip on that right side. See here, because his feet are off the ground, he's just not doing that. So this, again, it's tough to tell with just one video and not seeing a lot of the throws, but I think this right here is a product of leaning backward. Okay? Because he's leaning backward in the power position, right? Sorry, not in the power position, in the mirror turn position. See how he's got this big lean right here? So the leaning in the mirror turn, what caused that? Well, the leaning in the mirror turn was more than likely caused, the likely culprit is this big lean he's got as he drives to the middle. So he's got this big lean to the middle. See how he's all the way kind of leaning into the circle? So it all starts in the back. How do we fix that lean in the back of the circle? We do a better job getting this right foot off the ground earlier so that it clears around his left. Keep the chest up higher. Keep more weight on that left foot so that we don't have to lean and fall into the circle. Because if you lean and fall into the circle, you're going to be leaning in your mirror turn, which means that you're going to be leaning backwards and so lying backwards in your release. See that? So everything kind of goes together. Now in full speed, this probably looks great because at the end of your throw, you can see how your shoulders and your hips and your chest move forward. Do you see that? So here's the power position that we were just talking about, both feet off the ground. Discus comes out of your hand. You're still leaning backwards, but look where you finish your throw. Now at this point, there's nothing you can do to that discus. It's out of your hand, the throw's over, but look where you finish. So a lot of people probably look at that and go, man, he's got a great finish. Look at how he's pushing everything into that, but it's too little too late. Way too little too late. The discus is already out of your hand. by the time you push your chest and your hips forward. So stay on the ground a little bit longer. Some non-reverse throws would be awesome this time of year, just to teach you how to transfer that weight from your power side to your blocking side and push onto that left foot. Get the hips and the chest stacked on top of that left ankle. Obviously pushing from the right side to the left, not just shifting your weight. We want you to actively push your weight onto your left. But that gives you a pretty good idea here of how to solve this issue. It doesn't get solved here, and it doesn't get solved here, and it doesn't get solved here. It gets solved right here. That long kind of leaning, falling into the circle that you see right here, we got to fix that by keeping the posture a little bit better in the back, picking up the right foot earlier, and working on getting the right foot around the left side. Don't lean out of the way. Take the right foot and push the right foot around the left leg. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All in all, the throw looks pretty solid. Just a couple little things to fix, but you can see how it's all related, how the front of the circle is always related to the back of the circle, and most issues that pop up at the release actually start in the back. So that's how you start to work your way backwards and figure out these issues. All right, guys? That's my last one for the day. I am going to the gym to open up and start training and coaching people. If you guys have questions, make sure to email me. I'm going to try to get to people's videos as soon as possible. Like I said, I get sent a lot. I'm only going to do 2 or 3 a day. So hopefully we can get to your video soon. Talk to you guys later.